So hey guys, I apologize that this movie review is pretty late. Just had a crazy amount of work hours over the Memorial Day weekend, so I wasn't able to review this movie I'm going to review for you today over the course of that weekend. But this movie is Tomorrowland. It's the new Brad Bird film that's loosely based off of the smaller park area of Disneyland called Tomorrowland, which I think has Space Mountain and some other rides available there as well. So it's based off that area of the Disneyland park. But in the movie, you guys, Tomorrowland, like I said, it's directed by Brad Bird, who did The Incredibles, Iron Giant, Mission Impossible 4. He's done some really good ones. He It's mostly about a girl who is very curious about science. She, always feels that we can push things harder and, really move things to today. That we shouldn't wait till tomorrow to do something big. That there's still scientific breakthroughs that we can still discover. Her father, I believe, works for NASA or is some kind of rocket engineer. So that's definitely kind of her inspiration to be a part of this kind of world of science. But one day, she gets kind of in trouble with the law in a way, if you want to call it that, and she basically gets her stuff back after being released, being bailed from prison. And she gets a pin that she's never seen before, and it takes her to a place. And this really isn't this whole review will basically be down spoilers, so I'm not really going to go into any spoilers, but I will tell you the things that you probably should know going into the movie if you choose to see it. So she gets this pin that takes her to a place that's futuristic. It's a big city. There's no technological boundaries. No anything that's made with technology is found there or made there. And she is really fascinated by it. So she's able to track down a guy who is significantly connected with this world and this pin that she got. And he's played by George Clooney. He's kind of a former boy genius in a way, and you'll learn throughout the movie, why he's considered that and why he's connected to this world. So through this man that she's able to meet up with, she's able to learn that now all forms of technology are as it seems, and that the world of Tomorrowland is not quite the place that she was hoping it was going to be. So overall, guys, I thought Tomorrowland was okay. I really think Brad Bird has made a lot better films than this. I'm going to be completely honest with you. He's made The Incredibles and Iron Giant and Mission Impossible 4, and Ratatouille was pretty big for some people. I think this is kind of his first film that really wasn't that special. Like I said, I think the visuals in the film were very good, but storyline-wise, this film really didn't work that well. So for my overall positives and negatives, for the positives, I think this film has fantastic visuals. The world of Tomorrowland alone, I thought, was a terrific, visual representation of what the film was. It really showed just how great of a director Brad Bird is when he has the right technology available to him to make a film like this. So visuals, no complaints. The visuals were very good in the movie. Britt Robertson, who not a lot of people are familiar with right now, she was in The Longest Ride earlier this year, which didn't really do that well. She is the lead girl in the movie that gets this pin. I really think her performance in this was really good. I really think if she lands other films with other big directors similar to Brad Bird, we could have a very good actress on our hands here. Because like I said, this is a very career promising performance from her. So I really can't wait to see what she does next. Because if she's anything like she was in Tomorrowland, I really think she can land bigger and better films, hopefully later on in her career. I really like the George Clooney inventor character. You really feel like he's broken and he's been taking a lot of things from him, that there's not a lot of things he's proud of. There's a lot of things, like I said, that feel like that have been cheated out of him or have been taken from him that he feels that are his, that really are his, but they're taken away by a bigger figure that took this away from him, kind of thing. So overall, I thought his broken inventor kind of character was very effective for the film that they were trying to go for. The film has some unique messages on inspiration and positive thoughts, and how, if we have big ideas, if we have things that inspire us to do big things, don't wait till tomorrow or next week or the next month or the next year to do it. Why not do it today? Why not get started the second you come up with it? Because who knows, it might be something that can really help the world. If it's an invention that's completely new, it could be, it could bring us to something new and revolutionize our society in some way. So I like how the film brings us this idea, even though it's not completely done right, but The message itself, I thought, was very effective for the film that they were trying to make. I really like the use of child actors in this movie. Most of the time with a movie like this, you'll get child actors where, they won't, look like deer in the headlights on the camera, and, sometimes, sometimes you might not get the performance out of them that you might want. But for some odd reason, Brad Bird was able to get really good performances out of his child actors. There's a girl in the movie that's connected to George Clooney. That's a very small girl who I thought did a very good job in this. The kid that played George Clooney as a boy, I thought also did a very good job in this. So Brad Bird clearly knows how to direct good child actors in his movies. And if they choose to be in other bigger movies, hopefully they'll make careers for themselves like Britt Robertson hopefully will shortly after this movie. Now for my negatives, because Tomorrowland to me had a lot of negatives. I thought this film got way too overly complicated. This film could have been 4 or 5 different storylines for 4 or 5 different movies. It just went to directions that it really didn't need to go into. And as a result, we really don't get to spend a lot of time in Tomorrowland. It spends a lot of time setting things up. It doesn't really take us on any kind of adventure at all. It really is just kind of hints and foreshadowings to things that never really happen. And if you really think about it, for those who saw the movie, a lot of things in this movie really don't add up too well. So that's one of my big negatives about the movie. Another huge negative I had about the movie is in the first act of the film, we have a very weak narrative. It's very annoying. It doesn't work. I got the impression that Brad Bird and his screenwriter, who I guess worked on the TV show Lost, had no idea how to open this movie. It was really annoying, and it was a very unpromising start to Tomorrowland. And overall, I thought the script was very messy, very unfocused. It had a lot of ideas thrown at it to the point where it just doesn't know how to utilize them and apply them the right way. It's just a very messy script that somehow got good visuals in it, but the script really needed a lot of work. Another thing about the movie, too, is not all the pieces completely work. Not everything adds up. Not all the characters have good, closing arcs in the movie. It's just a very messy film. And I also thought the film got too Disneyized at times. There's times in the movie where, specifically when George Clooney's character is a young boy, as this young inventor, they really heavy-hand you these Disneyland rides. And I feel like they kind of did some forced product placement to get you to go to Disneyland after seeing the movie. And there's even a plot point in the movie that relates to a Disney ride. And I really felt like it got really heavy-handed. I really felt Disney just couldn't keep the corporate heads out of the movie. I felt like Brad Bird was not able to make the film he wanted due to Disney forcing their way into the movie and advertising all these rides they offer at Disney World, really offering a film that really was not quite the film we were hoping to get. But overall, I am going to give Tomorrowland a 7.5 out of 10. That might be kind of high considering what I just talked about. But like I said, there's some fantastic visuals in the movie, some fantastic acting performances in the movie. George Clooney and Britt Robertson all did a great job. Even the child actors did a very good job on this, and that's very hard to do in today's world, I think. And like I said, I like the unique messages about inspiration and positive thoughts, but it's very overly complicated. It has a very weak narrative, specifically in the first act, a very messy and unfocused script that really can't wrap itself up that well in the third act. All the pieces don't work that well in the movie, and there's just too much of Disney in the movie. And I really think if Disney just allowed Brad Bird to make the film that he wanted, this could have been a much better movie. So overall, 7.5 out of 10 for me. Maybe rent it from Redbox. I don't think it's worth seeing in the theater, to be honest. I don't plan on watching this a second time. Tomorrowland's an okay film. I really hope Brad Bird can make a better film for next time. But if you hope to see it, I would say rent it. I would say, just avoid it in the theater. I would just say rent it from Redbox when the time is right.